Hey, guess what? We're back with another episode of Paul Mort Talk Shit. I have to explain this one because me and Calum did this. How long ago?
Fucking hell. A year?
A year ago. So we did this a year ago. And Connor, if you're listening, yeah, it was your fault, bro. So me and Calum recorded this about a year ago. And then we had a change of staff and Connor lost that amongst a bunch of other things. So Connor... Sorry, bro. Today, I've got Calum Richardson on. Calum's a friend of mine. He's a client of mine. He's an inspiration to me and a bunch of other people. So, mate, I'm excited to have you back on.
Thank you.
Yeah, tell me, see how we're going to do this. Tell me what you do right now.
What I do right now?
Yeah.
So,
what do you do right now?
most of my energy goes into Forked Up, which is my hospitality coaching. And I've got the Bay Fish and Chips. So, that's where my energy goes.
Amazing. So, Calum has two things going. He's got a coaching program where he works with people in the hospitality and restaurant owners, bar owners, that kind of thing, coffee shop owners, and he coaches them to grow their business without giving it more time and losing their shit. And he also has the Bay Fish and Chips, which is award-winning.
I didn't even know you knew that.
You never mentioned it, right? You never mentioned it. I was talking to someone the other day, I think it was Joe Woodhouse, who said every time you meet someone from like Aberdeen, no, you're sharper than you. Isn't that mad? Isn't that mad? All right, so Calum's in the program. I like to rewind all the way back.
Yeah.
And we always have an interesting conversation about this because you were like, how did you end up following me? How did you end up in my program? Like, where were you at? What made you take that leap? I know you've told me before, but let's...
Yeah, quite important, really. So what, if we roll back a little bit further than that, so I split up with my second wife, and I was back living at mum and dad's.
The second one, are you?
Just
second
first
one.
mum and dad.
So second one.
Second one. So wasn't feeling great. No, that's an understatement.
Yeah.
And I was out of condition, physically, mentally, fucking everything.
By mentally, what do you mean?
I was busting the head. I was feeling useless.
I've never heard that in my life. What does that mean?
Busting the head.
Busting the head, yeah.
So like crisp bag bust, popped.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like for me, I felt useless. I felt I could run any business, but I was, as a person, a bag of shit. Yeah, so I was hiding behind my business, really, if that's the truth.
Yeah. That's actually really common. Really common that.
100%.
Oh, well, my business is successful, so who cares about the rest?
Yeah, 100%. And as it's growing and getting bigger, the hiding gets bigger. So that's where I was at. And then when I was at my mum and dad's, as much as I love my mum and dad, I don't want to sit downstairs watching TV with them.
How old were you then?
8 years ago, so what,
Fucking
43,
hell.
44.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. So it was like shit.
And that's not a big 43-year-old man living with a...
It's pretty savage.
And with a successable business.
Pretty savage.
It is pretty savage,
But I knew I had to get my ducks in a row before I could do anything about a house.
Yes.
I'd be...
So that was a strategitic decision as well?
Yeah, there's not much... like things you can take away from being divorced twice, but I learnt a lot off the first one, and the second time I knew, don't rush.
Yeah.
Take your time.
Yeah.
So I signed up with Dan Moore, who'd done some work with you.
Yeah.
And he was doing fitness with me, business owners.
Shout out Dan Moore.
And I got you shout out Dan fucking Moore. I got committed. I'm a committed person, so when I commit to something, I do it.
I've noticed that.
Yeah.
I have noticed that.
I'm all or nothing.
Yeah.
So I decided I'm going to do this short program.
Most people put skin in the game. Calum puts foreskin in the game.
Not anymore.
But yeah, Calum you're right, mate. I'm glad you said about taking your time, because I think that's an important part of committing to something. Like, I think a lot of people, they break so many promises and they become known as unreliable because they rush saying yes.
Yep.
I don't think they're necessarily bad people. I'm just like, you didn't even think about that and you just said, yeah, I'll do it. You've clearly learned something because you are committed, but I don't think you jump into decisions, right? You don't rush into decisions anymore.
Nah, I usually get a good feel for something.
Yeah.
So that's where my wife now, Victoria, is good, because she's a planner and a thinker. I'm a fucking action taker.
Yeah,
but she reels me in. It's a bit like you and Leslie.
Yeah, 100%.
Reels me in, but then I hoof her up the arse at the same time to push her forward.
Yeah.
So the balance works.
Yeah.
But back then, Dan had an online guest trainer. You were the guest trainer.
Tell you what's crazy about this? I can't remember doing that.
No.
I do a lot though.
Yeah, but...
And what was I talking about?
To be honest, I can't remember.
Yeah, it would have been mindset shit.
I think it was. I think it was a lot to do with calendars.
Oh, was it?
Planning your time and shit like that.
Yeah.
Which is not bad considering your calendar's fucking atrocious.
Mate, Chris Ramsey. You guys, I'm friends with Chris Ramsey, the comedian. We were at the UFC the other week, and I was looking at my phone, and he went, "What the fuck's that?" I said, "What do you mean?" He was going, "Ugh." He saw me calendar, and he was like, "What the fuck's that?"
Telling
I
you
was like,
taking a shit.
"That's what." He's like, honestly, because it's full, and I was like, "That's what my life looks like."
Yeah,
mate. Not all of us just do a 1 hour podcast every week and make millions.
So you started following me at that point.
Yeah. Maybe you tagged me in something or something.
I never know. Maybe doing that thing.
That's what I'm thinking.
I don't know, and I wondered what that was all about. Anyway, we just carried on as was.
Yeah.
And then a pivotal moment for me. I'd been with Dan for a couple of years, but I'd bought a new house. It was getting built. I met Victoria. She was moving in. Things were looking good, but good in a sense of on the surface.
Yes.
Maybe not deep.
Yeah.
I was in a good place. I was in a shit hot place, but not perfect.
Yeah.
Right? Well, there's no perfect.
Yeah.
But what happened then was a whole load of...
Speak for yourself, bro.
Do you want me to start?
The guy that was awake till fucking 3:30 this morning.
Fucking hell. So, what kind of happened then was big point in my life. So, my manager of 22 years, Stuart, decided to leave the Bay, being a manager for me.
Yeah.
That was tough, but that was not tough in business, tough in personal life.
Oh, really? Did you take it personally, or was there
100%?
Yeah, and that's that's almost like a lifelong friendship, isn't it?
His dad.
Yeah,
it's like his best friend.
Yeah.
You know. So when he put his notice in, if I think back now, I seen it coming, but I didn't really expect it.
Yeah.
You know. But when
and I bet that's not just the personal friendship thing, but also you probably became very reliant on him as well, did you?
Oh yeah,
inside of the business.
I built the business around him.
Yeah.
But what I'd always done was, because I seen a kind of little teetering that he may go 5 years before that.
Yeah.
So I put my time and energy into the people below him.
Yes.
To bring them up.
Yeah.
I was future proofing my business.
Yeah.
So actually, that was my warning sign.
Yeah.
And I always knew it's not forever.
Yeah.
I think we've got to be honest with that point. So that happened. I took it personal. I went home and my wife says, "That's good, the business will change and evolve."
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But she's looking from different eyes.
Yeah.
But she was right. You know, like, it probably had run its course. But personally, I found it difficult.
Yeah.
I was having a hard time from wife number 2. It was eating me alive.
Yeah.
And the problem with eating me alive was, if I'm venting that at home,
Yeah.
I'm now going back to what I was doing before.
Yeah.
I'm not in a good spot in my own house.
Yes.
And I didn't want to wreck something I had. And my sister was living with me because she's got MS.
Yeah.
So she was progressively going downhill.
Yeah.
And
that's a lot on your plate, man.
Fuck, man, I was bust.
Yeah.
I woke up in the morning, this is a true story. I woke up in the morning and I rolled over, said to Victoria, "I'm going to get some help." And she said, "Good." She wasn't going to tell me.
Yeah.
She was just letting me make my own way there.
Yeah.
And I said to myself already, I'm going to message Paul Mort because I know he follows me. I've spoken to him before. I think I'm going to message, see if he can help me.
Yeah.
I went down to the kitchen to pick my phone up.
Yeah.
And as I picked it up, you liked a post of mine. It's true. Things happen for a reason. I'm a great believer. And I was like, it's fucking happening now.
That is
regardless.
mad. Yeah.
That's the way I am.
That was a picture of food.
Yeah, so it would have been.
Yeah.
So I messaged you and I said, "Hey, can you help me out?" And you said, "Yeah, give me a credit card deal." You can.
What's the 16 day? And what did you jump in on? I've had this conversation before, but I have a lot of these.
I jumped in on your 90 days.
90 days, shit,
Yeah,
man.
jumped in 90 days. I signed up in the November, but it didn't start until January 9th, my birthday it was.
Oh, shit.
And I was in Jamaica.
Talk to me about, I remember that, because you go to Jamaica at the same time every year, right? Yeah. Talk to me about this then. Because one question I love to ask.
Folks say to me, "Do you take Victoria or Jamaica?"
I'm sure you got this. That's a swingers hotel you go to, man. I always ask people this question, but it doesn't seem like you are an action taker. But the question I always ask is this: what hesitations did you have about jumping in? But it sounds like you didn't have any. There must have been some where you're like, "Do you know what? Yeah, Paul, I really want to do it, but
I probably done the hesitations in my head prior to
before, yeah,
because that's me.
Yeah.
So like, you sent me the digit, the like stripe or whatever
Yeah.
to fill in.
Yeah.
I filled it in. The money wasn't an issue.
Yeah.
It was like, for me, it was a psychological thing. Like I would have said before, well, fucking you big Jesse, go get some fucking help. Do you know what I mean? I'm from the Navy.
Exactly the same.
I was in the Navy.
Exactly
It
the
would be
same.
like, you fucking,
Yeah.
what the fuck are you going on about?
And then I'm asking you to do fucking journaling and shit.
Yeah,
Just
and I'm
fucking
dyslexic.
what?
Fucking
I-
journal. Can't even spell journal. What the fuck?
Can't even spell dyslexic, bro.
I can't. Cheeky cunt.
No, that's not how you spell it. So, mate, I totally get that, about taking the piss thing, because when I get interviewed for podcasts, I was like, what do you... And I think about what I've done to change my life. And I'm like, most of the stuff that I do now, I would have taken the piss out of. I'd have took the piss out of journaling, took the piss out of meditation, I'd have took the piss out of planning, I would took the piss out of fucking sea dips and cold plunges, I would have taken the piss out of fucking hiking, jiu-jitsu, rolling around the floor with tight clothes on, cuddling each other, gay. I would have done all that shit. It's mad how we evolve, innit? I think that's ego. Bit of conditioning as well, obviously.
100%.
Ego.
I think so. But it's funny, like, again, I listen to fucking shit tons of audibles. Audibles are perfect for me.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, how much have I not learned over the years because I holding myself back from not doing these things.
Yeah.
But like, you listen to audibles and you like Dan Carter, the New Zealand rugby,
Yeah.
and he goes on about how he needed coaching for his head because he was under a lot of pressure. He was getting bust, but it was like, I'm not doing that. I'll get fucking ripped to shit. Then he decided to do it, but he kept it a secret. And because he'd have been put out to be an oddball, he said, now, if you don't fucking have a coach for your head, you're the odd one out.
What
now.
a fucking great point, mate. And do you know what? We were just talking about my friend Luke O'Nine, Sunderland club captain. He talks about this all the time. He's like, in football, it's kind of frowned upon, but he doesn't get it because rugby, a fucking sport full of hard bastards. Them rugby players are something else, man. They have it, but somehow football has, it's a bit weird. I think it's improving, though.
Is it Luke O'Nine?
Luke O'Nine, yeah.
Fucking hell, I'm dyslexic. I thought it was Luke Onion.
Well, funny enough, mate, when he signs things, I've seen him sign his name on an onion.
Yeah.
He has, and we always go to, obviously we go to a lot of away games, and when they announce his name, sometimes I've heard Luke Onion, I've heard Luke O'Neill, I've heard all of it. I've heard all of that shit in a away game, mate. Max always laughing, yeah, Luke O'Nine. But he says that, he's talking about it all the time, that in football, you probably would get the piss. I think it's getting better, though.
Yeah.
And I think rugby, you've fucking led the way.
100%.
Which is fucking unbelievable.
That's hardcore.
That is
If
real.
these guys are willing to do it, why the fuck is Joe Bloggs not willing to do it?
It's weird, isn't it?
100%.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's in Dan Carter's book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good book.
He's like a goat, isn't he?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
But so one of the biggest things for me about doing it was I came in it for me,
Yeah.
right? I've never done anything for me.
Yeah.
I'll always look out for every other one.
Yeah.
That's me. I look out for everyone else, forget me.
Yeah.
But this was about me, and you highlighted, fucking sort yourself out, look after yourself.
I've gone back to that so much more recently, man.
But where I found, growth was confidence in myself, even though folk all say, oh, you're really confident. Yeah, on the outside, but a lot of shit eats me up inside.
Yeah, man. I think as a bloke, especially someone that's been, you've got two things happening here. You've been in the Navy, so you've got great fucking banter.
Yeah.
You can't survive in that environment without banter, surely. You've got to banter that. And then secondly, you've got a successful business. So that you said it's easy to put on the front. It's easy to mask things with humour as well. I still do it now. We mask things with humour.
Yeah.
We mask pain with humour. We mask a lot of things with humour. And when you got a successful business, like no one really, you don't get questions that much, I don't think. You're kind of king of the shitheads. So you worked on yourself. How did you, tell me about some of the things you've done then to grow your confidence.
Well, but what I was going to say was, but the flip of looking after me was, I said at the very start of this podcast, was I can run any business. But all of a sudden, my business was better. And I'm thinking, fuck, how much have I been holding back my business?
Yeah.
And I thought I was fucking kingpin.
Yeah, it's always us that holds it back, isn't
Fucking
it?
Jesus.
Yeah.
So, what was your question?
Give me some insights onto two things really. Number one, what did you do to improve your confidence? Because everyone listening, even me, I'll be like, I'd love more confidence as well. I do everything I can to collect it and protect it.
I think it's all about accountability, being around the right people. So, like, not feeling like you're on your own.
Yeah.
So not scared to ask a question.
Yeah.
Because that's a big one. Folk won't ask
It
questions.
does my fucking head
You know,
in.
it's
It
fucking
does my head
stupid.
in that, yeah.
You know, so like,
I have been the same though. I bet you have as well. Where you're like every quarter for about 3 years, mate. I'd write down what could I have done better this quarter or this month. Ask sooner.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't ask at all, but we have this. I think men especially, we want to fix everything ourselves, and we'll get like, oh, if I ask for help, like you said at the start, it means I'm whatever.
yeah.
Yeah. So asking for help is I think actually that's a demonstration of confidence.
Yeah.
Whereas I think most men would see that as a sign of weakness. Or somebody else would think, oh, well, will you think I'm stupid if I ask that question? I think that happens all the time. It's fear, isn't it?
100%. You're scared to look like an idiot.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I've rolled that into my business. So like I say to people, like I've come out of the Navy as, they used to call me the Führer, for fuck's sake, right? Because I was so militarised.
Yeah.
I'd be fucking screaming at people for not coming and shaving.
Yeah.
I've got a fucking beard now, for Christ's sake. Right?
I thought it was tinsel.
Okay,
Mate, I'm the same.
All right, Mr. Puba.
Mate, I know it's no shit. This has got nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I noticed grey pubes on my balls the other day. I was like, oh shit, I am getting old, man.
Well.
So you came out the Navy as the Führer.
Yeah, and that helped in some ways. It got me disciplined.
Yeah.
But that world's changed. Fuck, if I spoke to people like I spoke back then, I'd have no one.
Yeah.
I'd probably be fucking locked up.
Yeah.
You know? So, but what we do in business, I've turned a lot of the principles that I've learned, I've put it into my business. So like appraisals. I've just interviewed a young guy there just now before I walked in the door here, and I said, I just want honesty.
Yeah.
If you've got a problem, we'll fix it.
Yeah.
But if you don't tell me about it, it'll become a big problem.
Yeah, of course.
So I think that's the thing that I've learned. You know, if you vent it early, it's probably not even a problem.
Yeah, yeah.
Because half the shit's in your head.
Yeah, it is. You know what's quite interesting about what you said there? If people won't come to you for help, I think you've got to ask them if they need help. I think as a coach, as a person, and even like, and I learned this actually through social media. I'm like, if people that are scared to ask for me help, people who pay me are scared to ask for help, right? Blokes especially.
Yeah.
Then people who don't pay me are definitely scared to ask for help. So it's how I got my head around the whole DM thing, DMing people thing. I'm like, well, I'm just asking if they need help.
Yeah.
And I think as a business owner in particular, asking your team what they need from you is huge. Because we're used to telling them what we need from them, but asking them what they need from us, I think's fucking massive. My team do that all the time. Paul, what do you need from me? What do you need from me? And I'm like, what do you need from me? And it builds this environment of success, of drive, of happiness, of openness and honesty. And I think that's fucking massive, man, for a business.
Yeah, it makes folk realise that whether it's something they need personally. So like actually, a guy that works for me now, he's just finished uni, he works full time for me, he wants to dedicate his time and move forward.
Yeah.
But he lives in Aberdeen, so he's getting trains back and forth, which is a pain in the tits because if he's late out of work, he misses a train, he's got an hour and a half to wait. So I said to him, why do you not get a flat in Stonehaven? He says, deposit. So I said to him this morning, I'll give you the deposit.
Oh, shit.
You can pay me it back in dribs and drabs.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you might leave. Because if it's
Yes.
a pain in the tits to get to work, I might lose someone that's good.
Yeah.
And I just think, you know, what goes around in life comes around in life.
Yeah.
Look after people.
Absolutely,
They'll look after you.
Yeah. I mean, you've kept a guy for 22 years to start with. That's, I mean, the guy that left, that catapulted this whole thing. I mean, that shows that you are doing something right.
100%.
Yeah.
You know, 100%.
And I think business is easy until you get team. Like team, if I don't think many businesses can grow. I don't think in many businesses you can't scale a business without team. People are the most important person about that. But
yeah.
I think business is easy until you get people in.
I learned this really early on. So my first business that I owned, and I went away and done a course on the west coast of Scotland. I thought it was a course, it was a competition, and it was run by ex-Special Forces. Okay, so I rocked up, and
doing fish and chips?
No, it was called Business Growth Challenge. For
Oh shit! Okay,
Shell Livewire, it was called. Right.
Holy shit!
Yeah, I won it. Right.
I think I've won that before as well. You know,
Yeah.
it's the little. Well, I've got a picture of me with a fanny tickler. I think Jesus Christ, I remember that.
Yeah.
There's none of them things anymore, is there?
Yeah. So
That's how I know Jeff Ram, I think.
I went to the West Coast.
Yeah.
And these guys turned around and said, right, build that shit. And it was like fucking camp beds and like forces stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, this is going to be a piece of piss.
Yeah.
But they make you do this test. For the life of me, I can't remember what it's called. It's a world-known test. It's A, B, C, or D, and it'll say, if someone comes with a problem, what do you do? A, B, C, or D. But you don't think, you answer quick. So you've got to try and get all these questions done quickly. I blootered it. I won the competition, and then they give you the report on what kind of manager you are.
Okay.
And they said to me, great manager, but you'll not go very far unless you step back. And I was like, right. And I was going, fucking full shit. What are you talking about? Full of shit. What do you fucking know, right? Just that young fucking ego. And then I'm driving home in my car and I'm thinking, funny that, because it was hard enough for me to get the 2 days off to come and do this, right? So then you're thinking, nah.
Yeah.
But then as the years go on, and it, like fish and chip shop of the year, I won that, by the way, just in case you're not sure. But I was going to enter. I'd entered a couple of times, but one year I wasn't allowed to enter. My ex-wife said to me, "Look, wait, have twins were away to be born. Charlie and I are away to be born, and you won't be able to commit to all the things that'll come to you from winning because you've got a young family." I'm like, what the fuck? I was fizzing. But you know what? She was dead right. Fact. 100% right. At the time, I was not full of shit.
Yeah.
But it was totally right. But then I realised I need to get ready. So this is where I started understanding about future-proofing my business.
Yeah.
So everyone wants to future-proof the business enough so they're either not in it or they've got to a position where they can sell.
Yes.
And that's where we've all got to get to.
Yeah.
And that's where that point is when I started.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So the twins were coming. You were like, I'm going to have to create some level of freedom here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And funny enough, I said this to Leslie. Last Thursday, it was her birthday.
What, can we have some twins?
No, come on, try. We'll try. We'll not have them, but we'll try.
Fridays.
We'll try. Fridays. Oh, you know about that day.
So Friday.
We went out for Leslie's birthday on Thursday, and we had an event going on here. So that's like my dream. When things are happening in my business that don't involve me, and I'm not there, in a business like mine that's built around me, that's difficult and challenging.
Yeah.
But Leslie really struggled with it. She was like, we were at the cinema watching David Attenborough's new movie because he was 99 last week and he brought a movie out. It was the same day as Leslie. She was only 98.
Can I just stop you there?
Yeah.
Imagine 20 years ago you saying you're going to watch David Attenborough.
Fucking hell, I know. But I didn't want to go. So we went to see it and she was like, we need to get back to the office. I'm like, it's your birthday, man, relax. But sometimes I have to remind her of thing. And my thing is, she likes, it sounds kinky this, she likes control. She likes to feel like she's in control. When she wasn't there, she didn't feel like she was in control. I had no problem with it because I heard a saying a couple of years ago that was, you can't have freedom and control at the same time. So I'm like, well, if I want freedom, then I can't keep control. So at some level, you got to fucking let go of it. And that was a massive lesson for me. And I think eventually you get it. For any of you guys listening though, if you remember that, you can't have freedom and control at the same time, then you've got to let go of some things.
Yeah.
Which is actually what probably the guys on that course meant by step back.
100%.
You got to let go of that need for control.
They said to me, you can't chain yourself to the fryer, the range, forever. And it's true. What happens if you're ill? What happens if someone else is ill and you've got to fucking go to hospital? You know, what you do?
What happens if you want to go on holiday?
You just closing your business just because that's what it.
I think that happens to a lot of businesses.
100%. You see it all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and that is not the place to be, and it is difficult. Like you think.
But it's not really a business then.
Well, I remember
if you have to close it down because you're not there, it's not a business. It's a job with no holiday pay, no sick pay, no maternity pay.
I remember back at the start for me when I was the Führer, and I'd come in, and it had been my night off. I'd worked during the day. I had a night off, and Stuart would have taken control, and then I would come in the morning, and I'd be like, "Fucking place is a shithole." But it wasn't, right? It was the Captain fucking Richardson here, right, doing his captain's rounds.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
Yeah.
And then I had to start saying to myself, look at the turnover.
Yeah.
Were we busy last night?
Yeah.
Yes, we were.
Yeah.
Was there any complaints? No, there wasn't. So what the fuck are you going on about? And then the Google reviews are all saying shops always immaculate, staff are lovely.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
So that's what you've got to do.
Yeah, that's fucking huge, man. That's huge. So we talked about the confidence thing.
Yeah.
And how else, let's rewind again to when we're in the 90 days. How else did the confidence affect your life, the more confidence affect your life?
I think confidence in my life was with the kids.
Oh, okay.
That would have been my thing.
I wasn't expecting that answer. Tell me more.
So I was made to feel like not a good dad.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably wasn't a good dad because,
Yeah.
like I said at the start, I was hiding behind the business.
Mm-hmm.
But I was trying to make the business something.
Yeah.
But then it got it to something, and I was still pushing and still pushing. You know? So
When you didn't need to, yeah.
when I didn't need to. No,
Yeah.
that's me being honest. Now,
Yeah, I've done that before. When you'd rather stay at the office than go home. That was me at one point in my life.
Yeah.
I'd rather be like, oh, fucking hell, I'd rather stay here than go home to that fucking chaos.
Yeah. So, like, I think I was flat. I had no confidence in being a dad. Victoria really put that the other way. She gave me confidence. But also doing this gave me confidence.
Yeah.
So self-belief. Like, one that always sticks out in me is, which we all do, I think, is when someone gives you a compliment. Hey, you're looking good, and you go, oh, so are you. You don't take the compliment. You bounce it, and you said you've got to start taking compliments. So I said,
We're so bad at it, man. But then you'll pay attention to all the neggy ones.
100%.
Yeah.
So like a client of mine said to me the other day, fucking hell, he's going, oh, I fucking had a bad review. I said, all right, let's talk about the good ones.
Yeah.
What? So
Yeah, it's wild.
You're focusing on that one bad review, which is probably bullshit.
Yeah.
And said, and you've got all these other 100 customers that are all happy today. We're looking at the wrong people here.
Yeah. It's where you place your attention, is where you place your energy.
Exactly.
Yeah. Tell me about then. So we went in the 90-day program, and then you came and joined us in Alliance.
Yep.
Where did the idea of Forked Up come from? Because I don't think you joined with the intention of doing that, did you?
No. And that wasn't in Alliance, that was in Elite X.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Shit.
So I came in Alliance for the year.
Yes.
But I already had, so Dan Moore was in the 90 days with me as well.
Yeah.
So while we were driving down to do our last day in the 90 days.
The Massive Action Day.
Massive Action
Were you in the
Day.
sea?
Yeah.
Were you in the sea?
Yeah, you were in. You had a fucking touring pack or something, I don't know.
Did I? I probably did.
No, you didn't go in. Yeah, I think
I must have been sick.
you had South Shield sickness.
I must have been. Well, did you know that beach has been
condemned?
The water in it has been, I think it's in the 4 worst.
Yeah.
Polluted.
Ferries.
It's on the brown. It's on the brown list or something.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I said to Dan on the way down, we were talking about Elite X, and I knew that's where I was going, but thought I need to test the water first, so I went into Alliance.
So for you guys listening, Elite X is my one-to-one coaching program. We have a smaller group, a lot of ballers in there. Yeah, we've got a meeting tomorrow. You're not invited.
Yeah. I'm not.
No, you're not invited.
Yeah, so I kind of. This is the way I operate. I kind of knew where I was going to go, but I was unsure. I didn't want to go and commit straight away.
Yeah.
I wanted to see what it was.
Yeah.
Joined Alliance.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Met some great people. Still friends with loads of them.
Yeah.
But no disrespect to them.
Yeah.
Felt like I was taking I was getting a lot of negative energy.
Yeah.
Just because it's people that were still climbing.
Yes.
Still at the start of their journey, and I was quite far on in my journey. So
you are doing more giving than getting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that sometimes in things I've been in where I feel like I have more people plugged into me than I'm plugged into. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, which I think I attract that.
Yeah.
And I enjoy helping people.
Yes.
Which is probably why Forked Up's there. But
you've got to have some people around you that are further ahead than you at some level.
100%.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to.
Yeah.
So, like, that's when I messaged and asked, and I think I was 3 months in, and I jumped in Elite X, and that would be 3 years ago now.
And where did this Forked Up thing come from then?
So, I had been doing...
Because I remember you coming with that. I now remember you coming with it. I was like,
It was in this room.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah. So, I had been doing consultancy all over the world anyway, right? And it was controlling my time. So this would be another one that would have not helped
you're traveling
marriage.
Yeah. Because
I was flying out to America, going to Japan, doing all these things all over the world, and it was drawing my time. But what I found was I flew to America to help them, and they weren't even ready for me. And then they asked me to come back 3 weeks later, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, so I kind of closed it down. I stopped helping people because it was like, it wasn't helping me.
Fuck all that travel, man.
And then when we were in this room and we were planning my year for Elite X, and you says, I don't know why you're not helping. It might be my second year actually. I don't know why you're not helping anyone.
Yeah.
And I came and done your coaching academy.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Done that. Actually, the coaching academy was the day before I came in here.
Fucking hell.
Because I had like 3 days of you. My head was fucking,
Fucking
my head was fucking numb. I'll fucking do coaching. Just get me out this fucking
3
room.
days of me and dyslexia. Fucking hell. Jesus
Well, the
Christ.
best part is, right, Calum, this is your massive action day where Leslie's going to run it. I'll come in at the start, I'll come in at the end, but
Yeah.
if I'm here, then we'll get
I
that
distract
done.
you, yeah.
And then you stayed in here the whole fucking time.
Happens all the time. Hey, do you know what I'm practicing now? I've just got better at shutting up.
Yeah?
Yeah, when the numbers come, I have.
Oh, of course you
Richard
have.
will tell you, they did a meeting this morning. I was quiet.
So that's 3 years. So what we'd done was we decided, you said, why are you not coaching these people? So I'd said to you...
Do you think it's because partly you linked the coaching people thing with having to travel?
No.
Oh, do you not?
No. I think I linked it with, it was sapping my time and energy, right? And you said...
It's because it was a lot of one-to-one.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you said, fuck that, make it a programme. So make it 90 days, make them have to come in. Because you can only teach folks so much in a day, 2 days, 3
Yeah,
days.
mate.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're never ready for you.
Especially, mate, with how much experience you've got. Well, look what happens when Ramsey goes in for a few days.
Yeah.
Sometimes 6 months later, he goes back and they've undone the whole thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's one of my favourite shows, by the way.
Yeah.
Ramsey's Kitchen Nightmares is world-class TV. But when he goes in for a couple of days. What he does in those few days is amazing. Then 6 months later, they go back and
Dog shit.
they've gone back to their old ways.
Yeah.
So that goes to fucking show it.
So that's what we done was we said, we decided, right, let's have a look at an idea for this. We decided to niche it to hospitality rather than being like any other coach coaching everyone.
Yep.
So niching it into what we actually know we're good at. I had the confidence, experience, and the awards, by the way.
Me too. Haven't even said it yet. Did you know I won Master Coach of the Year twice?
Was it twice?
Twice, aye.
Never knew that.
Double champ.
Never knew that.
Champ.
But then I drove away home from here, and actually, we sat in this. This shows you things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
We sat in this room, and you went, "Hey, I was down in Devon, and I was at a fish and chip shop." And,
I was in Poole, wasn't I?
As soon as you took your phone out, and I said, "Oh, that's Mitch Tonks." And
Yeah,
you
I
went,
remember.
Fuck, that is who it is.
Yeah, I remember. It was a through dog.
Yeah.
I've been to through dog. Aye.
And I said, I know him. I've been in his place. I've
Yeah.
helped him. And you were like, fucking hell. And then that night, I was driving home to a ward with Mitch Tonks anyway.
That's fucking wild.
It's crazy, isn't it?
That is wild.
And that's where the name came, because we didn't know the name. The name was not important.
Yeah.
You said the concept's the important part.
The result.
I'm driving home, and my mind, I had no distractions. I've got no news on my phone. I don't listen to the radio.
No notifications coming in.
Fuck, none of that shit. I'm driving up, and I think the Prime Minister quit that day. I didn't even know. I went into an awards ceremony, everyone was talking about it. I'm like, I don't have a fucking clue. But I came up with the name when I was driving up. I thought, forked up.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Mate, it's pretty mad that. It is pretty mad that how, like you say, you got their messages, you got that fucking you'd been with that fucking guy. I still remember that actually, because I remember them pulling out they like drew it on they drew on a piece of paper what they had. I've got this, and they drew it on. I was like, this is fucking cool, man. Yeah, I was legit the only person in there, I think.
Yeah. So we've gone from that side hustle, and that now turns over 6 figures.
That's fucking cool, man. That's fucking cool. And the niche is beautiful. You're in your fucking zone of genius. You've got it set up in the way that you fucking like doing it. What have been some of your... Actually, no. I'm going to jump straight into this. Because we haven't mentioned it yet. That you also like yumping. So, me and Calum did Everest Base Camp together last year. Calum had a great time. I fucking hated it.
That's not true.
What? I didn't. I'm joking. Talk to me about... Because you've leveled that up now, like you've really gone all in on the hiking. Did it start with the thing where you did the Munros thing?
So I do Munros anyway. So if we roll back,
Because this became a big part of your life and kind of your identity now, wasn't it?
100%.
Yeah.
So like I used to do Munros and mountains with my dad.
Yeah.
When I was younger, all my mates were having a great time playing BMXs, and I'm fucking walking in the hills with my dad, eating boiled ham and shit. Right? But it's funny how you go back to it. You know, like at the time, I enjoyed it, but I hated it.
Yeah.
But I love it now.
Yeah.
But I've always enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I've always liked the isolation.
Yeah.
I like.
Is that what you like about it?
I'm a people person.
Yeah.
I thrive off of people, and I like being around people. But I quite like my own headspace at times.
Yeah.
No phone, no distractions, not fucking text messages from
Do you know that I read something yesterday and it was about business, and it was about what I've realised. You know, when I go on a holiday and I don't use my phone, but I actually end up thinking about work, getting ideas about work, reading about work and that. Like, I don't mind that. What I've realised, it's not work that I hate. It's what I read this thing yesterday called death by micro requests, where you get business owners like us, we just have micro requests from people, micro requests from clients, like a little question and a little tag, and then you'll have people that are thinking about joining, just me messages asking for stuff, then you've got your staff messaging, right, you get micro requests that they don't seem massive, but that's what I need a break from, the micro requests, not work.
You're the same as me. Our distraction level is fucking...
Yeah.
So Victoria and me will be in the office and she'll say, go and check that email for me, and I'll go onto my phone, and then she'll look down and she'll go, email. Because I'm fucking seen a red dot somewhere.
On YouTube.
Fucking nightmare.
Watching a cat play the piano.
Fucking unbelievable. So I got back into hiking.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do the South Pole or North Pole and Everest. That's the things I've always wanted to do. Forever. Yeah. Right? But never any real belief that it would happen. Yeah. At one point I thought I could possibly do the pole with my mate who was in the forces with me, and he created his own company to do it. Doesn't do it anymore, but I thought that at one point was an option, but money would have not been able to be dropped so easy. So then I done West Highland Way with Victoria. I decided to do it on my own.
What's that?
So West Highland Way is from beside Glasgow to Fort William. So we done it 5 days, but we camped, backpacked the whole way. I was going to do it on my own, but then Victoria's cousin said, can I come with you? I said, yeah, of course you can. And Victoria felt jealous. It was like a jamboree. Right? But I raised money there for my sister with MS. I thought, right, I'll give myself some leverage.
Class.
Went out and done it, loved it. And then I said, right, my goal was the Cape Wrath Trail, which is from Fort William to the top northwest of Scotland.
And how long's that?
That's 350 kilometres.
And how long days-wise?
So, folk take between 14 and 21 days.
Fucking hell. And you did this just you, right?
Just me. All carried everything. 14 days.
That's fucking wild to me, mate.
And
that's isolated as fucking it.
You're totally in the middle of nowhere. That's compass and map out.
Really?
It's
not like...
Yeah, there is paths, but you don't...
No, is it not like... It's not iPhone sat-nav, though?
You can use it. I would have that on as a backup.
Yeah.
But I have my GPS and everything with me. But there was like areas... I'm yomping up, and I passed all these folk, and I'm away up the hill, and I'm thinking, I'm pretty fucking high here. I don't think this is right. Got my compass out, and I was like, nah, compass is throwing me all over, and I'm saying, something's not right. The water should be on the other side of me, and the water's on the fucking other side. And then I took a bearing with my sat-nav, and I looked, and I must have been in a magnetic field.
Oh, shit.
So it was throwing my compass and everything off. I was like, you fucking little bastard. I got down to the valley and to the water at the loch side. That's the lake for you.
Listen, I've been to Loch Lomond. I've been there.
So I got all the folk I'd passed were all there, and I was like, fucking hell. So this was a real big learning thing for me. I sat at the water edge, and these guys all walked off again, and I was fizzing because I was thinking I should have been here 2 hours before them. And then I said to the camp, because I recorded it, and I said, it don't fucking matter. Because no one knows where I'm going. I've not got a schedule.
It's not a race.
It's not a race.
They don't give a fuck.
There's no route. You've just got to get...
Oh, is there not?
Well, there's kind of routes, but all you've got to do is get from A to fucking B.
Yeah.
And there's kind of detours, and I was like, one of the detours is, do you want to go through into Strathdon, a little village, or stay in the wilderness? I stayed in the wilderness. You know, I just thought, I'm in a good spot, I'm keeping going.
Yeah. 2 to 3 weeks on your own is madness.
I loved it.
Yeah, that's madness to me. But I can't even comprehend that.
You said something a minute ago, which is where you know, when you're in the shower, you get all your ideas. It's that kind of moment. You're in your sauna.
When I'm on holiday,
You're in your sauna, you're on holiday, no distractions, and you have some magic ideas. And it might not even be the full idea then, but it's the seed to the idea.
Yeah, it's because you've got space in it.
100%.
And you're not, I think it's also because you're not, this is what I think anyway, there's no input.
Yeah.
There's no inputs. You think about how much input we've got coming in.
Yeah.
From phones, from TVs, from fucking radios, from whatever. There's just input. And there's no input there, really.
Yeah, so when I was hiking, I journaled every day on a hike.
Yeah.
I printed it out on a small version.
Mm-hmm.
I have a notepad. I write my thoughts every day while I'm when I'm walking, and I always wrote stuff then. And I recorded it because I done this walk because my mate from the Navy had died of cancer, best mate. So I decided to raise money for him, and I decided to tell a story about him every day.
Yeah.
So it kind of mourned it. Carried a gin and tonic to the end and chinned it at the end at the lighthouse.
Yeah.
But best 14 days ever.
Yeah.
Mind was clear.
I was just about to say this. Like, what was in that for you? Like, what was the benefit in it? Because a lot of people wouldn't get that. They'd be like, you did what?
Yeah,
Why?
but the thing was, the things that I gained out of it was not what I went to get.
Oh, shit.
I went to do it because I wanted the challenge.
Yeah.
I wanted the challenge. I wanted to see, can you fucking do it?
Yeah.
Are you full of shit?
Yeah.
Right? And I just thought, do you know what?
And I think that is important. I think not enough men
It's okay to fail.
challenge themselves.
It's okay to fail.
I think we've stopped challenging ourselves. I think that's a lot of people's problems. They've gone soft and then they blame self-belief. But you know as well as me, and I say this almost fucking constantly now, listen, you get self-belief when you do hard shit.
Anyone could do that hike. The hardest thing for most people would be taking time off. But all the folk that were doing it, some of them said they'd done it in two bits. They'd done the first half and then they came back a year later, done the second half.
Yeah.
Some folk just made sure that they started on a Friday night so that they got 2 full weeks plus a weekend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like they were squeezing what they could out of it. There's always a way.
That's a really interesting thing that you said there. Most people's biggest problem will be getting the time off. That's really interesting that you said
That hike's not money. That's not like paying Elite X bed to go and fucking hike Everest.
Yeah.
That is get a tent, get a sleeping bag, get some food, get
the time off thing is just really interesting to me because I remember the first time I went on holiday and I was like, right, I'm going to go. It was the first time I went on holiday without my phone. I'm like, I'm not going to take my phone.
Yeah.
That's part of the challenge is not going on your phone, but actually a big part of the challenge is having your business ready so that it can last without you there.
So
if you can't do that, you don't have a business.
I do no phone on holiday now. I tried it. I done it I was away with the kids for the first time because I thought it's more important when I've got the kids because it's easy to get that distraction and I don't want to be that guy I was where I was on my phone all the time.
That was them that's on the phone all the time.
Well, this is what happened. I'm sitting on the sun lounger like this. My phone's in the safe. I check it in the morning, check it at night.
Yeah.
It's in the safe. I'm sitting on the sun lounger, looking around. Victoria and the kids are all like this. Right? on their fucking phones.
No, what I do now, I think it's quite...
Do you know the hardest thing though?
Oh.
At the end of holiday, I says, I got no fucking photos.
Yeah.
I had to say, you need to share your photos.
So all I do now is I delete Facebook, Instagram, emails. I don't delete WhatsApp because it's a pain in the ass. I just I lock anything chat to do with work, and then it just means I've got Audible, I've got Spotify, I've got.
See that you take an old phone.
Yeah, and sometimes you need WhatsApp to fucking book restaurants and communicate with people and that. I don't think it's the end of the world now. It's just the apps that I need. Like I was saying before, it's not the phone. It's not work. It's not that I'm not trying to even escape work. It's the micro requests that it's like death by 1,000 cuts. It's not one of them. It's fucking for when you're running a business. These micro requests, they're fucking constant.
Yeah.
And that's what I realized only the last time I was away. I realised that I needed a little bit of a break from people, from requests for a little bit. And then I read that yesterday, death by micro requests. And I was like, that fucking sums it up. It's mad. So we're not really trying to escape work. It's like, I just need a little bit of a break from people asking me for shit.
Yeah, but then you go into your phone and you've not been on your emails for 2 weeks and you go, for what the fuck? But when you actually look at it, there's a load of shite in there. But you don't see it as
So
shite
much
during
shite.
on a day-to-day
No,
basis.
it's important. It's critical. You test it you check it every fucking swipe up.
And then you bin it.
Yeah.
But when you look at it and you think, there's only 2 emails a day that's of any relevance.
Yeah, and someone else can deal with them.
100%.
Yeah, and so business-wise though, it makes you organised. It makes you work on your processes and your systems. It makes your team fucking level up because you're not instantly contactable. It trains your clients to actually contact you in a way that you've told them to, rather than, well, I'm not at your beck and call, mate. This is how you submit a question. This is how you request. This is who you deal with, because it's not me that you should be asking what your fucking login is. Do you know what I mean? Like, it trains. There's so much benefit in just getting ready to be able to do that.
And you can't teach your clients to be the best version of themselves and have a fucking holiday if you can't do it.
Exactly. I say that all the time. I'm like, if your clients complain that you go on holiday, they're a fucking shit client. I'd rather not. I'd rather they don't pay me money. So we did this Cape Wrath thing.
Yeah.
And I interrupted you.
No
Funnily enough, I got excited, man. You said, because that bit about the time off is really important.
Yep.
It's not even about doing Cape Wrath. It's just like being able to take time off and build your business around that.
Yeah.
You said what you got from it wasn't what you thought you would get from it. Talk to me about that.
So I remember, fucking hell, it was quite strange. It was quite deep. Some days, like, fucking, I mean deep.
You're left with just you and your mind.
I went away, and Victoria said to me in the car when she took me to Fort William, she just finished reading a Japanese book, and she was going on about be at peace with the mountain, and the mountain will look after you and all this stuff, right? So I thought, right, we need all the fucking gods to look after me on this fucking trip, right? And I said a piece to my phone and said, you know, I'm going to look after the mountain, pick up rubbish if I see it, fucking not abuse it.
Yeah.
But it's sun's out. It was a beautiful day, and I'm like, but
In Scotland, are you sure?
well, was I wasn't sure she
Do you
dropped
mean
me off.
do you mean it wasn't raining? That's all.
I said the sun was out. It was freezing. But I said to the camera, but when I was in the Navy, it looked beautiful, but it was fucking deadly. One wave, yeah, it's deadly.
Oh, really?
So the mountain is the same.
Yeah.
You've got to just respect it.
Yeah.
But I remember I was on day 3. I woke up. I'd been crying in my sleep. Right? I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what's that all about?
Yeah.
Got myself ready, put my tent away, and started on my hike. And I thought, right, now I can take this apart now, because I've got no distractions. I can take this apart. What was I dreaming about? What was I thinking about? And what I was dreaming about was Victoria, my wife, was at a function, so like a function that we go to for the industry.
Yeah.
She was there with me. She was hammered, pissed, and she was cheating on me, right? And I'm like, what the fuck? And there was another flash, and she was out with her friend Inga, and they were in a pub, and I went to pick them up, and they looked like they were all over, these guys. And this was in my dream. Right?
Shit, man. I think everyone's had them dreams, by the way.
And then
Leslie had one of them dreams.
About Victoria?
No.
Was it you?
But honestly, I remember Leslie had a dream like that once. She was in a huff for me for like 2 days. I was like, you do realise it was a fucking dream, right?
Yeah. So, because I had no distraction and time to fucking analyse this, and I'm thinking, I looked at my watch and I thought, it's fucking Tuesday. And it was a Monday morning, because the kids had been overnight stay at my house. Victoria we'd been giving them breakfast and taking them to school. And I'm thinking, I'm dreaming that she's cheating on me. She's fucking looking after my kids that she doesn't even have to look after.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Because they're not her kids.
Right? So then it was as the day went on, and I'm still thinking about this.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is because this is about me.
Yeah.
This is because I was Harley Racket. This is because I was always away partying.
Yeah.
And I think
That is deep.
that's what I got from this walk.
And you're not going to get that anywhere else.
No.
Maybe if you did fucking ayahuasca or something, but...
Yeah. But it was, that's how deep it got.
Yeah.
I came away from there, I loved it.
Yeah.
I found out more about myself in that 2 weeks than I've found in 52 years.
When you're like that, when there's no distractions in that, I remember there was a monk I worked with, Arjuna, and he's like, when you're like that, and Joe Dispenza says this, well, when you're like that, when there's no distractions in that, you've just got space, a lot of your like unconscious thoughts come up, because you can't push them down. There's nothing to numb them, there's nothing to push them away with, there's nothing to take your attention somewhere else, or all your unconscious.
You've got to deal with it.
This is when people, when they're meditating, they're like, oh, I can't empty my mind of thoughts and I can't stop thinking. I'm like, well, that's meditation.
So the other thing would have been like, so my mate Arnie, who died, I've been a great friend of his for years, and I met up with him just before he died. I flew to, when I knew he was on his way out, I flew out to Ireland to meet him. And when he died, fucking hell, it's probably the most heartbroken I've ever been, right? Like family, because the thing is with Navy, you know so much about each other. It's unbelievable, right? You know,
you're living with each other, innit?
Yeah, and you know everyone's problems. You help each other out. There's none of this like bullshit. You look after each other. You're brothers. So when he died, and I decided to do this walk, I'd been planning it, but I had no reason to do it. And then I thought, fuck it, I'm doing this for Macmillan, for Arnie. So that's what I done. And then I said, fuck it, there's the date, because as you always say, get a date in.
Get a deadline on it.
Declare it. I declared it. So I decided to do it for charity. Because now, I'm Mr. Accountable. I'm deep. But then when I was walking, and I decided to record the whole thing and put it on YouTube. And I decided to spin a story about Arnie, spin a dit. So it made me reflect. But it was fucking hilarious shit that we've done some fucking
Naughty
stupid
shit.
shit. Oh,
Yeah.
fucking real naughty shit.
Yeah.
But at the end, the last day, I was looking at my pace on my watch and I'm like, this is the slowest I've walked.
Yeah.
I mustn't want to stop.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Right? It's just, about deep.
Yeah.
Got to the end, got my gin and tonic out my bag,
Yeah.
said a bit to camera. I was fucking emotional.
Yeah.
Poured a bit on the ground for him.
Yeah.
Chinned it. I came home. I took the top off the can. It's now a pencil holder in my office. And I was like, I fucking mourned him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, not sad.
Yeah.
Not a bad memory.
Yeah.
Not sad he's gone. It's weird. Whereas I think I'd still be kind of sad for him.
Yeah. Well, because you wouldn't give yourself the space to
100%.
process it, like people would say. You wouldn't because you'd have loads of distractions going on.
Yeah. But I didn't go away and walk and think how sad I was for Arnie.
Yeah.
So, like, prime example, day 2, I found an antler. I found an antler on day 1. I always said I'd carry one.
Yeah.
I'd take it home.
Yeah.
Found it and I was like, oh, fucking hell, it's day 1.
Yeah.
I've gone out my way to make my bag as light as possible. I don't want to take an antler. Day 2,
The double as?
yeah.
Really?
No, it was a single, but it was
single.
quite huge.
Yeah.
And I slipped on day 2 in a bog. And I landed on this antler. I was like, you fucking cunt. So I put it on my backpack, strapped it next to my pants that were drying,
Yeah.
as you know.
Yeah, I
what
know.
do.
Yeah, admin.
And I was walking back and I was like, fucking you prick. I looked up at the sky. I said, Arnie, you wanker. I said, you fucking lumping me with this shit now. Because it was Arnie the antlers, like, you know. And I was
Yeah.
fucking hell. But yeah, I think it was great. And that forced me then to do base camp with you.
Well, mate, that's mad. I wasn't expecting when I said, what did you get from it? Because obviously I'm thinking about the listeners thinking, oh, what the fuck's this? What's the point in this?
Yeah.
Who the fuck goes walking for 2 weeks?
Yeah.
What made you do base camp?
So always wanted to do it. But like I said, I quite want to do Everest. But we've got to be honest with ourselves. Am I capable physically? Am I capable mentally? Have I got the money? And will I fucking like it? Do you know what I mean? It's all very well, all them other things.
How long's Everest, the whole thing? It's like 6 weeks or something, isn't it?
Nah, you'd be 2 months, 2.5 months.
That's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's my story. I haven't got 2.5 months. And I hate it. So, you signed up for that. Did you think it was going to be a physical challenge? Did you?
I thought I was going to be physically. I think it was the altitude that I was more worried
About, yeah.
So I knew I was physically fit.
Yeah.
I'm headstrong, as in like I'll get down and get it done. It was just whether I was going to cope with the altitude and cope with you.
That was the hardest part. Yeah, that was the hardest part.
It was.
Yeah. So, obviously everyone...
Sharing a room with someone that opens your bag and starts stealing your sweeties in the middle of the night.
I tell you what, I do that now, don't I? Do you know what I was telling you? So you guys might not know, I have this big lump on the back of my knee and it gives me a lot of pain. Not all of the time, but particularly if I've been walking a lot, and it keeps me awake the whole night. Painkillers don't do anything. And then I was telling Calum, when I get home, the first thing I'll get sorted is this leg. So I started with this like Nurofen cream that you rub on. Now this is the most feminine thing I've ever said. Now do you know what I do before I go to bed? Hot water bottle. Yeah. Legit.
Yeah. when
I'm reading in bed, I put a hot water bottle on the back of my knee. 0 pain. Isn't that mad? ChatGPT told us to do that. You know, Dr. GPT. Honestly, I was like, keep getting this pain in my knee and I'm rubbing this cream on. It can't be good for you putting that fucking pain on every night. Loads of that on the back of my knee. So it said, put a hot water bottle on. Changed me fucking life. Isn't that insane?
Crazy.
It's transformed me sleep. So, Everest Base Camp, then, let's talk about that. What did you find difficult about that? Because it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be.
It wasn't difficult. I think if you're not...
I mean, we'd train for it. I mean, I was fit anyway. I hadn't been training jiu-jitsu because the reason I signed up for that... Yeah, the reason I signed up for that is because I tore my pec, but then I tore my hamstring 6 weeks before as well. But... if you do a bit of hiking, and I did, fucking hell, I was doing Helvellyn, I was doing fucking Snowdon.
You were setting off at 3 in the morning.
I was.
So you could get back to watch Sunderland?
I was, and I must admit, I didn't like it. I didn't really like hiking. I find it a bit boring, do you know what I mean? But I'm sure there's people in the world that find jiu-jitsu boring. So I think about fitness all the time. You find your thing and do it until it fucking kills you. But the hiking thing, the hardest part for me, mate, like you know, was the downtime.
Headspace.
Headspace. It's not my thing. But physically, it was a bit weird. There were days where it was. I thought the first couple of days were hard Because there was one day where we did a big fucking hike and it was hot.
Yeah, I think the hard thing is knowing how it's meant to feel. So it's not.
That's a fucking great point, man.
It's not like going out hiking here where
Let's get it done as fast as we can.
Yeah. It might be hot, might be cold, might be
Yeah.
windy, might fucking not be.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you'll be back down later on. Just get on with it, right? When you go away and you.
And if I get it done fast, great. I beat
Yeah.
me time from last time.
So
yeah.
the opposite is with doing base camp or altitude hiking is it ain't fast, it's slow. It's deliberately slow, which is a problem for you and me because we do everything at 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Where you've got to reel yourself back in a bit,
Yeah.
take your time. But expect the unknown.
Yeah.
That kind of was quite a Navy thing. Always be prepared for fucking any eventuality.
Yeah, things going wrong.
I remember getting off the plane at Lukla.
World's most dangerous airport.
Yeah, and we got off the plane there. The sharpers picked the bags up and we went up over the top of the runway and back down. Remember, before we started? And I was like, fucking hell, I can feel that altitude already. You know, we were 2,600 metres or something, and I'm thinking, holy fuck, a duck.
Yeah.
But, you know what? I thought, listen, fucking grannies and grandas and everyone do it. So, you know
And
what?
we had that kid on the fucking
Yeah, we
in the
had that
group as
little
well.
Lithuanian kid, And who he was 10 or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He
Yeah.
completed it. So it wasn't a
Maybe
case of
I think he was 8.
yeah.
He's in me fucking nephew's class at school.
Yeah, that's right.
Aye.
Yeah, that's right.
Aye.
So
Wild that.
yeah, I think the hardest part would just be getting used to altitude because it fucks your head. It like makes you doubt yourself when you find it hard to breathe.
You know what's interesting about the breathing thing? Well, I didn't even think about this until I got home. Where you think about it, there's a point where you get to where you're breathing in half the amount of oxygen that you normally breathe in, right? So you think about that, oh, well, that means breathing's going to be hard. That means my body's going to... But you don't think about your brain takes up the most oxygen. Your brain, literally, if it gets starved of oxygen, you fucking die. So you think about that for like a week or something. I don't know how long you're breathing 50% of the oxygen, but you think about that. Your brain is getting half the amount of oxygen as it normally does.
At the height we were at, we weren't at 50.
Well, we're not.
No, but you same ethos of what you're saying though. So like
you're starving your brain of oxygen.
So
I didn't even think about that until I got home.
like the night before you left.
Yeah. That was cold, by the way.
Yeah, but that was a prime example. So that was Le Boucher, and I think that was probably like just below 5,000, maybe 5,000 or just below 5,000 metres. But when you're lying in your bed at night, you quite often wake up choking if you're flat because that's what you just said, starving of oxygen.
Yeah.
It's just your natural reaction.
Yeah.
Now, when that fucking happens and you're not used to it or you don't understand it, it's a little bit freaky, which is kind of what was going on with
totally,
you a bit, you know?
Totally,
You-
but I didn't even think about the brain thing.
Yeah.
But then Namjal said to me, so Namjal was our Sherpa, fucking brilliant guy. He said that actually when people come down off Everest, the full thing, they actually have a lot of mental health problems.
Yeah.
Because their brain, fucking hell.
Opposite.
But you don't think about the brain thing, do you? You think about, my body. My body's given up. We lost a few guys. My lungs are, I'm struggling to breathe. My friend Paul
Lost
Lima.
them. They got a helicopter down. They're not dead.
Yeah, they're not dead. No. Yeah, let's clarify that. There was no deaths. There was no deaths.
That's a Paul Mort.
I think it is. I think there was 3 people. But my friend Paul Lima, big black Irish fella, Paul, he only made it as far as Namche Bazaar.
Yeah.
He said he couldn't breathe. He said, my body's just not built for that. But I was like, I'd never even thought about...
I think if you're not
more than your body.
not fucking Nepalese, I don't think anyone's body's built for it.
Nah.
That's a fact.
Nah, it's not,
You know,
is it?
that's why we need to go on oxygen. That's why we need to go slow.
Yeah.
And you watch these guys, like I went and done Kilimanjaro and Nims. And
Yeah, let's get into that next. So let's box off base camp.
So we came back.
What was
and
your hardest part
so-
of base camp? What do you think the most difficult? What did you learn from... Actually, let's go. What did you learn from base camp?
I learnt about altitude. I learnt that I have to...
Because you didn't get sick, did you?
No.
At all?
I had to... My oxygen was low a few times.
Yeah.
But not low enough that it was a problem.
Yeah.
I learnt that you've got to be good in your head.
Yeah.
And that is one with altitude, one with what's going on around you. So we had Dan getting choppered off.
Yes.
You are starting to get a bit
Fucking
kinda
all over the place. Yeah.
cuckoo. So, and the other thing I learnt was, you know, I used to bunk up, obviously, in the Navy, and then I had the fucking crazy guy from Shields bunking with me. And that was a learning curve. Fucking hell. It was like lying in bed at night sleeping, and next thing, all the lights are on. It's fucking, what you doing?
Man,
Got a sore knee. What's that? Do you need the lights for your knee?
No, I can't fucking hell.
It was unbelievable.
I remember the first 3 nights, I spent the next day just apologising to Calum all the time. Mate, I'm so sorry because I lose the plot, man.
But I think if I hadn't been in the Navy, that would have probably bust me. I would have, because it would have wore me out.
Yeah.
But I was good with it. But I said to you when we got to the airport, I know you're going to fucking struggle. Yeah. Sharing a room. Yeah. I know you're going to struggle.
I'm not used to that
away from
either.
your family, because you're never away from your family. You know, a night, 2 nights max.
Yeah.
And I said, so that's fine.
Yeah. Those are the, mate, honestly,
if you're feeling bad, say, I'm gel. Who the fuck is that?
Shit,
I opened the door, and it was in Dembouchet, and you're down, and you're standing there with your fucking fluorescent orange pants on, and you're going, I'm having a heart attack. I can't breathe. And I'm like,
fucking heart
get into your room. And you're going, my heart, it's fucking like 100 and something. I looked at your watch, and I said, mate, it's fucking 80.
Fine.
Going, it's not. And then I seen your gummies, your fucking, your gummies were open, and I said, have you been chewing on these gummies? No. Why is the lid open?
Yeah, do you know, Calum, it was a mad thing for me because physically, I didn't find it that challenging. But the biggest 2 lessons for me was, the boredom fucking crushed me. Started inventing all these problems. Being away from my family was the fucking worst. I kind of want to do it again because, mate, what we seen on that trip was incredible, man. If you think about, I felt like I was on a different planet every day.
I think that the heart...
Wasn't it like being in a different country every day? So I kind of want to go back, but with them.
100%. I think that would be a good trip for you, to be honest, because you missed them.
Yeah. I couldn't get in contact with them.
But, well, you could.
Just hard.
It was like you were making a bigger problem than it really was.
Yeah, of course.
Because you were starting to talk yourself into
going
finishing.
home. Yeah.
And I was saying to you, look, mate, at least fucking get a base camp.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, you got a base camp, touched the stone, and fucking you were away. I'm like, fucking hell.
You know physically the hardest part?
Putting your pants on this morning.
Do you know physically the hardest part was getting back to that place in time so I could get the chopper.
Yeah.
Because he was like, if you don't get there now, you're going to have to stay another night. And I was like, I will fucking take my shoes off and run if you want us to.
And the thing was, you missed getting on actual base camp.
Yeah.
So, like, you missed a big part. Yeah, I know you say now, but you'd have loved that. You know what I mean? Yeah, 100%. You rushed the bit that was the goal.
Yeah. I'm not that awesome. I'm glad I went back when I did, but the lesson on the boredom was such a fucking big one for me. Yeah. Like, part of me still, like, if you can't handle boredom, you've got a bit of a fucking problem. I'd have probably prepared more, I think, for that. Yeah. If I did it again, I'd prepare more for that. There was no distractions.
I think you would have been better as well if you'd mixed with other people, because you were mixing with, like I said all along to you, don't announce it to the to Alliance, because you'll be going with loads of people and you feel like you're coaching them, which was fine anyway. But if you were in with other people, you would have had to get to know them. Yeah. Which would have distracted you.
Yeah, do you know what's pretty weird as well? You know when we're talking about, like, do you know when we're talking about, like, being dialed out from people? I think part of me was still in the, well, I'm not at work. I don't want these micro requests. So part of me when I'm on holiday, I never talk to anyone. You know when I'm on holiday? Yeah. I never talk to anyone. Never make friends on holiday because I need a fucking break from that. So, mate, huge lesson for me. So after that, you did something even more mental.
So I signed up. I had already signed up to this anyway. Yeah. To do Kilimanjaro.
Why? Why that? Why was that? Was that just the next step in the progression? Was that?
When I look back now, yes. But it was Victoria had said to me, she said to me, you should book this. Yeah. And I says, well, let's do it together. Yeah. You know, why don't you come? Yeah. Oh, I don't know if I can. Says, why? And
that's why you have to.
You know, let's do it. I think it would be a great experience. Yeah. Even if you don't like it, you know what, we'll have done it together. Right? So we signed up for that, but again, I thought, right, let's do it with NIMS, because in my head it was about, I want to go the whole way. So if I do it with NIMS, then he's
not fucking around.
He's not fucking around. Nah. I listened to everything he was teaching us. So for me, it was a teaching lesson.
If you guys don't listen, NIMS Purge, I did the 14 peaks in record time.
And yeah, done it without oxygen as well.
Yeah.
And he's doing it again right now.
That's wild.
So I decided to do it with him and his team, and it was a mastermind. So I thought this is a great way. It was a lot of ex-forces.
Yeah.
Let's see. Like, I got in my head, if I don't make it to Everest, I've not failed.
Yeah.
Years ago, I'd be fail. I won't attempt it because I can't make it.
Yeah.
I've now got in my head, wherever I get to,
That's where you get to.
that's where I get to.
Yeah.
And it's a lot further than talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So I done Kilimanjaro with him.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it. Bit boring, because when you've done base camp and you've seen the beauty, there's not a lot of beauty
In Kilimanjaro. Oh, okay.
because it's one fucking mountain and in jungle.
Yeah.
So like it is nice,
Yes.
but it's just same.
Base camp was base camp was legit. Every day I was like I was on another planet.
Yeah.
So when I look back through them photos, I'm like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
And they don't even do it justice.
Nah. So then I booked to, well, that's when I said to Nims, I want to do Everest, what do you think?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, right, Manaslu next,
Mm-hmm.
which is 8,000 metres. He said, but I want you to do Aconcagua, Argentina, 7,000 metres.
Yeah.
But the dates didn't work,
Yeah.
because I was going away to Jamaica.
Yeah.
It was January, and he said, we'll make it work. Fucking hell. But it's true. If you want something, you make it work.
Correct.
So he created a plan for me,
Yeah.
and I flew out early and done a one-to-one guiding, right? So I went out and flew out on Boxing Day, and went out to Argentina and done Aconcagua. I failed by 300 metres, 400 metres,
Yeah.
but I was good with it.
Yeah.
I was good with it because I knew the reasons why I hadn't made it.
Yeah. You gave your all.
Yeah, and
that's all you can do.
And I reattempted, but I was burnt out.
Yeah.
But I knew I was struggling with the oxygen.
Yeah.
So I came home and I thought, right, there's a few things I can do here. I can stop, or I doubled down. So I have now got a breathing coach. So I decided to not just get a breathing coach, get a fucking top of the range breathing coach, someone that does all the rugby teams, all the athletes, pro, UFC fighters and everything, right? I thought, let's get someone that's going to understand it, what I'm trying to do, not just fucking take my money.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. You know,
Yeah,
I'm Mort Jr.
Yeah.
But, you know what I mean? The results I've had from that is unbelievable. But
I love what you said about you got two options, because this is the same with me with these jiu-jitsu comps. People are like, why are you doing it? Like, you lost.
Jiu-jitsu?
I've never mentioned it. So I do jiu-jitsu. So I've got two options. That, like, you hate it. I've lost all these matches. Why would you keep doing it? I'm like, well, if I stop, I'm just going to be full of, oh, I wish I kept going.
Yeah.
Now I'm like you said, I'm all right if I lose. It's not the end of the world. I know that I'm fucking turning up is a big part of the fucking battle. Just getting on the mat. It's the same with getting on the mountain.
Yeah, there's turn-ups there as well.
Like, just, do you know what I mean? You're getting on the mountain, starting it.
It's true, but we've got to look at this.
Most people just talk about it.
We've got to look at this ethos with everything, so we've got to be good with failing.
Yeah.
So I've just said to this young guy that I've just employed today, look, you're going to make mistakes, but let's celebrate them. Let's learn from them.
Yeah.
If you hide them, then we're going to have a problem.
Why is it important for you, and why is it important for everybody listening? We'll wrap up on this one. Why is it important for everybody listening in to take on, I'm going to say, physical challenges when they run a business? Like, what's the point?
I think it forces you to get out your business, gets out your comfort zone, switches you away from your business, like takes the mind off it, and it future-proofs your business. So, like, Luke, who's in Elite X with me and you, and he's my PT, he is going to do base camp next year. Now, Luke runs his own business, and he's there.
It's heavily relying on him.
Every morning.
Yeah.
I said to him, the best thing about this is you're going to be away for 3 weeks.
Forces you.
So you have got, you can't turn around and say to your clients, there's not going to be a program for 3 weeks. You're going to have to fucking
figure it out.
Place.
Yeah, beautiful.
This will be the best business learning curve for him.
Magic.
Fact.
Magic. Yeah, you look like Ian Lambert doing fucking triathlon world records and doing all like he's had to do the same.
Yeah.
So the physical challenge is not only this is even this part here that you're talking about is like improving your business before you even do the challenge. You have to.
Oh,
and what about the other side of that? Like for me, you're getting like a lot of self-belief. you're generating even more resilience. You get to see that you're not important to your business as you fucking think you are.
100%.
Your team have to fucking level up. You get, let's face it, people get inspired by it, man.
Well, that's one of the things that
People do get inspired by it.
I thought, I'm inspiring my fucked up clients, my staff, my family.
Yeah.
You know, if my kids, they might say you're fucking nuts, but at the end of the day, if it makes them get off their arse and go and do something one day, doesn't matter what it is, it's a win.
Yeah. Mate, those videos that I was making when I went Everest Base Camp, they're like my most viewed videos.
The ones you made?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like, calm. You got that footage?
Oh, shit.
You got that footage? I said, just because fucking Kath's not here, I'm not dyeing my hair red to fucking do your work.
I did edit them, but I was constantly asking you, hey, Kath, did you get a video of that? Mate, now I don't, because I've done so, I don't even have photos now. I just literally, because I'm making all these videos, I just have videos on my phone. It's a nightmare. Leslie's like, can you send us a photo? Like, I haven't got any photos. I've just got videos, 5-second videos. I love it. Calum, last one. For everyone listening, who would you say? Because you've been in the game a while now. You've met a lot of the guys. Who's Alliance perfect for?
Alliance is perfect for. I think it's perfect for anyone that just wants to become better for them. They might not think it's for them. They might think it's for their family, their business, but really, deep down, it's for them.
And it starts with them.
Has to be them.
Yeah.
You've got to sort your own shit.
When you realise, you said it right at the start, it's a beautiful way to finish. When you realise that you're the bottleneck in your business and you realise that you have a you problem and not a business problem. I think that's almost everybody.
Yeah,
there are business problems, but you're the one that has to solve them usually.
You've got to sort your own shit first. You've got to sort your own ego, and you've got to be good with yourself. So that might be cut some booze out. Don't have to stop it. Cut eating so much shit. Start looking after yourself, and you know what? Jigsaw pieces start fucking coming together. Then, funnily enough.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Beautiful. Calum Richardson. Calum. Full bill. Where can people find more about you and what you do? Follow your journey.
So you can get me on the Bay social, or you can get me on Calum Richardson social, or Forked Up.
CALUM. Yeah, 1 L.
I think so. That's how I spell it.
That probably means it's double L. You guys, dyslexic.
My name might not even be Calum.
It's Colin Richardson on Instagram.
That's my dad.
Guys, check out. Is it?
Aye.
Guys, check out Calum's Instagram. He shares a lot of his journeys and his walks and the odd video of his dick. No, I'm joking. Make sure you check out Calum on Instagram. I love following his shit, so you will too.